It's been an interesting one. Definitely a journey with different, I guess, stops along the way that I guess teach you different lessons. That has different challenges. Obviously, I understood at the beginning getting the responsibility wouldn't be an easy one. It would be a tough one. But if I look at the year and everything that we had to overcome, I wouldn't have envisaged all of that. I think as a team, I think we've been able to make good strides going forward. I think probably as a leader within the team, was also one of the leaders. There's been a concerted effort to really try focus as much on the cricket and not find yourself kind of consumed by all the other off-field matters. But yeah, the journey so long has been an interesting one. It feels like every series there's something new to learn, but it's been an enjoyable one as well. I do feel that we can go all the way. I think, if I look at the way we performed at the previous World Cup, like you say, we did exceed people's expectations. We didn't exceed our own expectations. We know the standards that we had set for ourselves. We know what we wanted to achieve. And I think if we can get better from our previous showing from the last World Cup, we can achieve anything as a group of players. But yes, realistically, there is stuff that we need to do. If I look at our bowling attack, that's a bowling attack that can be, seen as one of the best around, going around. But probably with the batting, there's a bit more that we kind of need to add there to really be competing with the best. I do believe there's still a chance that we can automatically qualify, but if it means we have to go to Zim, then so be it. I think the ODI side is in a different phase if I compare it to all the other formats. I think we shouldn't shy away from that as a group to say that we're not there where we need to be. I think for me, it's not a matter of chasing quick results. It's about us trying to build up a system, trying to build a way that we can win games in and around pressure. And I mean, with the one-day side, we're not there yet. The personnel is there, definitely. But I think there will be a lot more opportunities, probably a lot more faces that you see within that format until we kind of get to understand what is our way of doing things. I've enjoyed working with Dean. I've always enjoyed him from the time that I joined the team. Tough character, and he's really brought that character trait, that no-nonsense approach to the team. He calls a spade, whether you're a player, whether you're management, and he really puts you in a position to be accountable for whatever your role is in the team. And I know the guys have warmed up to him. I think that will be a process for some other guys. But yeah, it's been enjoyable working with Dean. And happy to see the work that he's achieved within the test arena.
If he's the tough guy, are you the slightly kind of softer, more cuddly kind of leader?
Well, not cuddly, not cuddly. Maybe softer, yeah. I guess I also have my moments of, not aggression, but moments of speaking out. But yeah, I try play the other side of Dean.
Is he a bit of a prankster? He comes across as someone who just says it like it is, and I think he's like invented another language. Do you find that you have to sometimes re-explain what he's explained?
Yeah, Dean. Yeah, he's not someone that's really gonna try and mince his words or, politically correct at times. He's not that. He'll say whatever is on his mind. You got to trust that everything he says, it comes from a good place. I think we get along well. I think mainly for the fact that our vision is the same. We all want to see a better South African team. We all want to see people speak about the team with a lot more pride. I definitely think it's one that is inclusive. And when I say inclusive, I look at the leadership squad. You've got guys from different backgrounds who come in with their different perspectives, and guys are able to sit down on a table and and share their ideas, and whatever decision that we make, it's an encompassing one. It's one that accommodates everyone. It's not one that is biased just to one specific group. And I mean, the culture is not something that is born or built, in a month or 3 months. It's a continuous process of guys kind of putting in the right ingredients into that culture pot, if I could call it. It is not the responsibility of the coach. It is not the responsibility of the captain. Really, the main guys within the team. Yes, the coach and captain set the vision, and then you need the players to kind of follow with that. So yeah, I think the biggest word for me is one of inclusiveness, and then one of where guys are seeking for excellence in everything that we do. We're pushing each other, we're trying to push the boundaries, and we're trying to get better and better. There's openness in the team. If I think back at the conversations that we had, sensitive conversations that we had, I don't think any group could be having those type of conversations, but still be in a space where they don't want to play for each other out there on the field. So yeah, I think it's an environment that is conducive for guys to play well, and I'd like to think the younger guys coming in, feel as if they can come in and be themselves, but most importantly, perform. It was definitely something that was there. It was definitely part of conversations that were happening within the team. And I guess, I haven't been with the wider group. I'd like to think that there would be relief that now we are in a space where we can 100% focus on the cricket. And we hope that headlines within the media will be dominated by the players and their performances. So yeah, we look forward to being in that space. And I'm sure the coach as well will look forward to being allowed to kind of focus on, I guess, his main job of coaching, and being given the necessary support that he requires as a coach.
And then you've got these India games, which, I mean, South Africa are putting out a really strong side, but India are resting. I mean, I suppose they've just been through an IPL, so they're resting Kohli and so on, followed by England. Just where's your focus over that series? I mean, is England very important because that takes you to a World Test Championship, close to a final? Are these India matches important in World T20 terms? Like, just what's the priorities for the next, let's say, 6 months?
Yeah, I think these games are definitely important. It's the first time as a T20 squad we'll be together since the World Cup. So I guess just that experience of being together, us reminding ourselves of, the good things that we did, how we go about playing cricket, and really also seeing the new faces that was in the squad, to see how those guys can come in and add value. That's an exciting prospect. Within the test side, I guess every game is important now, looking at where we are within the log. There's a realistic chance or opportunity of us seeing ourselves in those test championship playoffs. And I guess it's going to be kind of a fine balancing act when it comes to, giving guys opportunity from a playing point of view. I don't see a situation where, your main bowlers are playing all the games, especially the guys who play all formats. So I guess the conversation has to happen around there. But I know Dean wants all his players at his disposal, whether they played all the games or not. But that's a conversation that I'm sure will definitely happen between the decision makers. I haven't been fully invested. Like you said, it's been long. It feels like a lot of cricket, but I'll probably watch now the playoffs. It's a bit more exciting. It's nice to see some of our guys doing well. KG en route to being, the quickest, I think, to 100 wickets, then quicker than Malinga. So I guess that's definitely something to be proud of. Guy like Marco Jansen, he's gone and performed over there. Aiden, and even the younger guys who've kind of shown their ability. There's a lot of talk about Brevis. So I mean, he's an exciting prospect for our cricket. Tristan Stubbs as well, getting a go. We've seen how well he's done here domestically. So yeah, it's been nice to see all those guys. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching the playoffs a bit more closely.
And would you like to play there one day? I mean, I suppose, I don't even know, have you been in an auction before?
I'd like to play there. I guess the stronger the performances, the more realistic the opportunity becomes. But yeah, I'd like to play there. I've also developed this kind of fantasy of captaining a team. I don't know where that comes from, but I'd like to get that experience as well. But yeah, I kind of need to get into a team before that happens. I guess in essence, the foundation, we've been in existence for just over 5 years. And you know, in simple terms, through the foundation, we try to systemize my development as a young child who has his roots in Langa Township there in Cape Town. How I was kind of taken out of that system and put into another system where I had the opportunity to attend some of the top schools, top boys' schools within South Africa, where you know, I benefited immensely from an education point of view, from a mentorship point of view, but also from an ethos point of view, how you kind of taught to manage yourself as an individual amongst other people. I got bursary scholarships from a young age because of, I guess, the little bit of talent that I had, and you know, there was so much, you know, that kind of got put, I guess, into my pot to allow me to fulfill my potential. So within the foundation, we identify talented cricketers, boys and girls. We put them into our partnered schools. We cover their education, like I said, through the bursaries, and then, you know, we are part of that journey. We're part of that development. There's a whole mentorship big thing for the foundation, understanding that you're taking an individual from an environment that he's so familiar with and you're putting him into another foreign environment that has its challenges. That's the educational side. And then we've got an infrastructure development side where we identify areas, whether it's clubs, whether it's schools that need intervention from an infrastructure point of view, being like cricket nets or cricket pitches. And we either come in and we refurbish what is already existing, or we build new ones. And that we've managed to do around schools within here in Johannesburg. We've also got an arm of our social initiatives, which was mainly born out through COVID, and seeing the effects that COVID had on our people not having access to basics of life, things like food, things like clothing. So we're involved in those type of drives. We also lent our voice to gender-based violence and hoping to create awareness around that pandemic in itself. So we also have a cricket team as well in the foundation, under 12, under 13 cricket team that participates in different tournaments around Johannesburg, and that's merely from an exposure point of view for the boys. So yeah, that's the foundation in a nutshell. We've been able to touch over 6,000-7,000 lives with our social programs. And the kids under the foundation, the scholars under the foundation, there's about, I think, 8 kids who attend schools like SAC, Bishops, St. David's, St. Stithians, in and around the country. In terms of the support, I was quite fortunate that from the beginning I had PPC who backed me. I went to them 2015, somewhere then, with just an idea. And I guess they were kind of sold by the idea, and like I said, were able to back me. But yeah, all of the success of our work is largely centered around those strategic partners, so strategic partnerships that we get with the corporates. Like I said, PPC, Vision View, Balance, Pick and Pay, in all the social stuff that we do. The Frida Hot shelter, that is a shelter that houses destitute women and children. So yeah, the work that we've done has been amazing. We're excited for the next coming years, but we need a lot more support to be able to expand all the work that we've done. We've subsequently launched an endowment fund in which we are trying to, create a pool of savings that will be able to, cover all our operational costs and not so much, not rely on CSI donations from corporates for us to be able to carry our work.
As a famous person in South Africa, irrespective of race or your leadership position, to be more than just a cricketer, or why are you doing all this?
Yeah, I think by virtue of the fact that you play cricket, you've been there for a couple of years. You've done well. People start seeing you as someone who can, who can use your voice, to either create awareness or to effect some kind of a positive change. I'm not one for politics, but I guess because of the position I hold, you kind of find yourself being, thrown in those conversations. And it's not conversations that I'll shy away from. I'll give my opinion on things, but I think for me, I understand the fact that I have the power, I have the influence to make things better around me. I understand where I come from. I understand, there were people who were integral to my success. And I would also like the same opportunities, the same meaningful opportunities that I received from a young child to also be given to kids who had the same talent, even not more than I did as a young guy. And I guess, in terms of change, the more people, who kind of have that willingness, within their heart to do that, the more easier I guess it would be for us to create a better living environment. So yeah, I guess it's something that I derive a lot of success from, the foundation and just helping people around me. Do I have a future in politics? No. I think, for the team, the biggest thing that for me was the conversations. Again, I always go back to the conversations that we had, but it was more about your own perspective of how you seeing things, being able to put that aside, and having empathy for the other guy, listening to what the other guy says. You don't necessarily have to agree with what he says, but it's just kind of understanding where he comes from, and just having that empathy. And like I say, you don't have to agree with it. Common sense is common sense. What is wrong is wrong. What is right is right. But at least you kind of understand, what informs a certain guy, in his decision making or his attitude. And for me, that was the biggest thing. I think the taking the knee, it was needed. I think it probably got to a point where, without being disrespectful to it, where it was a bit more about optics more than anything. But I think within the team, there was a lot of growth within the team. There was a lot of respect, that guys started having within each other. At the beginning of last season, there was obviously the rule that we would take the knee throughout the whole season. That rule hasn't been put on the guys, and I don't see a situation where that will be instilled within the guys, or not instilled, but guys will be instructed to do so. If that is the case, then again, we kind of need to learn from the season, and that needs to be clearly and timelessly communicated to the players. It's not something that I'll be instructing my teammates to be doing. If guys want to do it, that's at their own volition. But I think, there was a lot of growth in terms of the conversations, challenging our own perspectives in and around the whole taking the knee and the Black Lives Matter kind of situation. Yeah, there's massive opportunity for us to for us to achieve as a team. Starting with this India series and then the UK tour. UK is always a big tour. We've got the Australia World Cup, the Australia series as well. That's also another big tour. Within the team now, and if we come out the better, through those series after Australia, we could really be a force to really be reckoned with as a team, especially that test team. So yeah, there's massive opportunity for individuals to make a name for themselves. Until running up to 2027, there's ICC events in every year. So there's that. There's also that prospect of us again kind of getting that monkey off our back, of never bringing back any silverware. So I think the big theme in my head is opportunity. There's a massive opportunity for us to achieve a great